Hey everyone, Dr. Zeo here again, and today we're taking a look at Power Rangers Dino Fury Episode 6, Superstition Strikes. This episode was okay. No, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It wasn't great, but it was okay. Better than last week. And here, let's talk about why. So the episode opens with a really good scene of Mucus just kind of chilling in Void Knight's chair when she probably shouldn't be. And of course, Boom Tower has a few things to say about that, about how you shouldn't be sitting in the big boss's chair. And of course, they go back and forth about it until Void Knight actually pops up from a secret room. What is in that room? We'll get to that in the question of the day. But so far, we don't know. We do not know. But Mucus, of course, being the curious little case that she is, wants to know as well. You know, she embodies the audience. I love her so much. Like Mucus, as I've said before, Mucus is one of my favorite characters. She's definitely my favorite villain character. But yeah, Mucus always gets a 2 thumbs up for me. So Mucus asks Void Knight, hey, let me go inside that room of yours. And so he pushes her toward the door, and she grabs onto the handle, and it shocks her and blows her back. And I gotta say, I like that scene. I can't exactly articulate why, but I love whenever we see a ranger or a villain flying backwards horizontally and flailing their arms. There's something about that type of wire work that just appeals to me. It just looks cool, and I love it, and I love this scene. So yeah, props for that. But essentially, once we move on from that, we move on to the city. There's a sports beast attacking. We see the Ranger Hotline get called again. So again, I'm loving the Ranger Hotline being a continual thing in all these episodes. It's good that they didn't use it like once or twice and forget about it. So Rangers get the hotline called. Izzy says that there better be a sports beast around because she doesn't want to go back to doing her algebra homework. Which, Izzy, I feel you. That Algebra 1 homework was pretty fun, but Algebra 2, no. Once you get to the advanced math, that's when you start losing me, even though Algebra was my favorite subject. So, yeah. And it's also nice that she mentioned the fact that she's also a student. She also has other things she could be doing, aside from the Ranger business. I like that. But again, it turns out that it wasn't a sports beast, it was just, Amelia's grandpa, Pop, covered up in suds trying to clean the outside of a Buzz Blast. So they help him out, or he gets free labor from all these kids, and I guess mid-adults, young adults, to help clean up Buzz Blast. But Amelia walks underneath a ladder, and so that is where our superstition strikes. Yeah. No, okay, fine, whatever. So Amelia and Pop both believe in the whole, if you walk underneath a ladder, you'll have bad luck. Obviously, Ollie's having none of that, which I like this little scene, partly because, yes, it keeps to our pre-established facts about the characters. Ollie's more scientific, Amelia's more on the spiritual side. It's nice to know that her family, or at least her Pop, kind of sways in that direction as well. We haven't seen Amelia's immediate family, so all we know is that she probably lived with her Pop because he mentions having to clean her room at some point in time. So who knows? She might have just lived with Pop. He might have lived with her parents or some other living situation. But it's nice to know, give us a little bit of an idea where she got her spiritual nature. So she goes throughout the episode believing that she has bad luck, and so she leaves the scene and she goes walking through the park, gets attacked by a sports beast. That sports beast, whose name I cannot remember, absolutely destroys her. Like, oh my god, was that beast strong. He blows her back, she demorphs, and her Morpher's toast. Rangers pop up to help her out, but they get rocked too. And while all this chaos is ensuing and Amelia's really down on herself, Mucus takes this as an opportunity to steal Amelia's Morpher, which I did not expect. Like, I did not expect a bad guy to steal someone's Morpher in this season. I can't remember the last time somebody's Morpher got stolen. When was the last time that happened? Maybe, what was it? Not Time Force, but Lightspeed Rescue, when Ryan stole the Titanium Morpher. Quote me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I think that was the last time that it happened. So it's been a while since somebody's gotten their Morpher stolen by the villains, but I enjoy that. I enjoy that so much. Obviously Amelia's feeling down on herself that one, she just got rocked by the beast of the or Spork's beast of this episode, and two, her Morpher is damaged and busted, and she had it stolen by Mucus of of all people. Like that's gotta add some hurt feelings to it. Like it could have been Void Knight. I would have been fine with that if I were her in her shoes, but Mucus, getting your shit stolen by Mucus, that hurts. That hurts extra bad. But so Zato calls Solon to let her know that, hey, this is what happened. Can you start up making an extra Morpher for us? And then he teleports the two of them back to the base, and then he teleports back to go help Pop Pop. So that leaves Amelia and Solon in the base, and Solon is of course making her a new Morpher, but Solon points out that the little components that they have to make the new Morpher, that's probably the only one left in existence. So, if that gets destroyed, then there are no more new Morphers, which I like that a lot, because it successfully accomplishes one big thing, that it sidesteps the issue of them being able to make new Morphers all willy-nilly, because when you're able to make new Morphers, getting your Rangers stripped of their powers doesn't have the same oomph, because it's like, well, okay, your Morpher got busted, just go to Solon, make a new one, it'll only take 5 minutes, right? And you'll be back in the fight. But Solon pointing out the fact that there's only this one artifact left in existence to make this Morpher. As far as we know, there might be others if we actually need to get to that point. But Solon pointing out the fact that there's only one of these left in existence brings that urgency back to those situations, because if Amelia gets her Morpher busted again, or if any of the other Rangers get their Morphers busted, that's it for them. That's game over. There is no other way to make another Morpher, because you only have one of that artifact or one of that item. And that's good. I really like that. It showed that they can make new Morphers, but it's still a pressing issue to get your Morpher destroyed, because they don't just have an infinite supply of these things laying around like I assume Grid Battle Force did in Beast Morphers, because they didn't seem down at all when their stuff got busted. They were just like, okay, we'll just make a new one. Here you go. Which makes sense. This is their thing. Whereas with the Dino Fury Rangers, they don't have access to that kind of technology. But after that, we kind of go back to go check up on the villains, and Void Knight has a really good plan. His plan is to repair Amelia's busted Morpher, and then use that to teleport into the base and get the Spork's beast, which is so smart, and I did not expect him to go that far. But it also brings up a good question, which we will address later on in the question of the day. But them repairing the Morpher, it does clarify something for me. When the Rangers morph, they tap on their communicator, and then they get their Morpher out, right? This whole time, I thought it teleported the Morpher to them. I didn't think the communicator actually transformed into the Morpher. But when Amelia gets her Morpher snatched, and Zato has to teleport her to the base, that confirms the fact that, yes, the wrist comm that they have teleports into the Morpher. They're one and the same. It's more of the Morpher being in disguise as a wrist comm, rather than them being separate objects entirely. And that's good clarification to have. It's not something I would expect, but I like that. That's nice little world building there. But Void Knight messed up, because he sent Boom Tower to do the dirty work. Like, you really could have succeeded with this plan had you not sent Boom Tower, of all villains, to go finish the job. Like, come on, bro. Come on. Like, even Mucus knows that Boom Tower's an idiot. But anyway, he sends the Monster of the Week to go distract the other 4 Rangers. Well, he assumes 5 Rangers, because he doesn't know where Amelia is. But he sends the Monster of the Week to go distract the Rangers. He gives the Morpher to Boom Tower. Boom Tower teleports back to the base, and we have our nice little fight of the week. So it's Boom Tower versus Amelia and Solon. And Solon's kind of distracting Boom Tower, while Amelia sneakily gets the Morpher, gets her confidence back up. That has a nice little solo flash morph, and then has like a nice little base fight with Boom Tower. And I like the fact that in the middle of the fight, she grabs onto Boom Tower and teleports both of them out of there, because if she not grabbed onto Boom Tower, there's no real way she could have forced Boom Tower out of the base. You know, she had to knock the Morpher off of Boom Tower. Then she had to figure out a way. Okay, now that we've gotten that immediate situation solved, what do we do about Boom Tower being in the base? Like I don't know if she's strong enough to take Boom Tower on herself. So it's nice to see that she had the foresight to teleport him out of the base with herself. That was good. Then we have the monster fight where the monster of the week grows giant. We have a Megazord fight. The Megazord battle this week was, it was a Megazord battle. Nothing really special except for the end. I liked the end. Actually, before we get to that, I like the fact that Izzy called everyone fam. That was cute. It was relevant language. Again, it's something we would expect to hear from Izzy, being the fact that she's still in high school. So that was nice. I didn't like when she said cringe. Like, ew? Like, do people say that? Like, I've never heard someone actually say cringe out loud. I think that was going just a little bit too far, but whatever. At the end of the fight, they end up setting up a Rube Goldberg scene, and I just like the fact that everyone in the Megazord, including the Monster of the Week, just watched this Rube Goldberg scene just kind of play out, and then the monster obviously had his armor clogged by the end of that machine, and then they end up beating the monster, and Izzy points out how convenient all that was, and that was a nice little funny moment of self-awareness for the episode. Speaking of funny though, Jane and Jayborg were not in this episode, which, I mean, we already knew that Jane and Jayborg aren't necessarily in all the episodes. I kind of miss them. Like, I don't mind Jane and Jayborg. I don't. When their scenes are good, they're really good. And I feel like they could have been used effectively at the end of this episode, which we'll get to in here in a second. But anyway, monsters defeat the Sporks of the Week, and they grab the Sporks beast from Boom Tower, and Boom Tower complains, and Izzy responds with, "Okay, Boomer," and I thought that was funny. It was a nice little play on words with his name, and it was a nice little relevant piece of slang coming from Izzy, but I didn't like the delivery on that. I feel like "Okay, Boomer" in that situation was a little bit delivered too cheerfully. I feel like she should deliver it in more of a mocking way. I didn't really get that from the line delivery from Tessa, but whatever. It was still a nice little effort there. But anyway, after that, they go back to help Pop with cleaning up the place. And I didn't like the last scene where Ollie is going through all of this comedic relief type stuff. You know, he has a bucket on his head. He's stumbling through a hose. He falls into something. Meanwhile, all his friends are just watching this all unfold. Like, no one takes a moment to help this boy out. Like, what kind of friends are you? Like, this is not sending a good message. And I feel like this would have been more effective had this been a Jane and Jayborg scene, because I wouldn't have that complaint. This is something I would fully expect coming from Jane and Jayborg, not from the Rangers, who were supposed to be Ollie's friends. Like, that was very much a bad move from the Rangers. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. Like, I would have been giving those Rangers the side eye if my friend just let me go through all that stuff without helping me at all. But anyway, that's pretty much the episode. It was okay. It was okay. I enjoyed it. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. And on to the question of the week, which today is, what's behind door number 1? So yeah, Mucus points out the fact that while they're in the base that the door that Void Knight comes out of, that door has never been opened before. She doesn't know what's behind there. Boom Tower doesn't know what's behind there. Void Knight is very secretive about what's behind there. He even has it electrostatically charged so that nobody except for himself could get behind that door into that room. Like, Void Knight, what are you hiding in there? Like, this is giving me some This is giving me the Silver Secret vibe from In Space. Like, bruh, we're keeping secret rooms in the base. You know, I want to know more about this. And so yeah, I want to know what's behind door number 1 for Void Knight, and we'll probably hear more about that in a future episode. But anyway, that's all I had for today, for this week. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Until next time, stay safe, get that vaccine, still wear a mask because you can still get COVID, just won't affect you. You can still pass it on to other people who maybe haven't gotten the vaccine for one reason or another. But yeah, be safe out there, stay safe, and have a good weekend. Ciao. One more thing. I do actually have one more question of the week, and that is, why does Void Knight know how to repair a Morpher? That's a really good question, and it kind of goes back to the fact that in our premiere episode, Zato asked Void Knight why he has that stolen armor. Again, that makes me think that this man is connected to the morphing grid in some way, shape, or form. Maybe he's our Gold Ranger in disguise, or maybe, who is he? I want to know more about this man, because him being able to repair a Morpher is suspect as hell. I mean, he might just be good at technology because we saw him build Boom Tower, but I don't know. I'm not banking on that. I think he's good at technology, but repairing a Morpher is just way too specific for me. Way too specific. And the fact that he has that armor from somewhere, yeah, I need to know more about this man immediately. Let's get those details, Power Rangers. Let's get those details. Alright, that's all. Have a good day, y'all.